Look at the people around you who seem financially comfortable. Now, ask yourself honestly, are they smarter than you? Do they work harder than you? Did they get luckier than you? In most cases, the answer is no. The difference is something more fundamental. They think about money differently. Welcome back to Gentle Wisdom. Today I want to show you the specific ways that people who build wealth think about money. Not the strategies, not the investments, the thinking, because the thinking comes before everything else. By the end of this video, you will understand the mental habits that separate those who build wealth from those who wonder where their money goes every month. So slow down, listen carefully, and let's begin. Lesson 1. Rich people think in time, not just money. Here is the first difference. Most people think about money in terms of money. Rich people think about money in terms of time. When an average person sees something that costs $50, they think, do I have $50? When a wealthy person sees the same thing, they think something different. They think, how many hours of my time is this worth? Is this purchase worth that many hours of my life? This simple shift changes everything. Suddenly, a $50 impulse purchase is not just $50. It is 2 hours of your working life. A $200 dinner is 8 hours. A new phone you do not need is an entire week. When you measure purchases in time instead of money, you naturally become more careful, more intentional, more selective. Morgan Housel, in his book The Psychology of Money, describes wealth not as a number in a bank account but as the hours of freedom you have purchased. Every dollar saved is a small amount of your time that no longer needs to be traded for money. Rich people are not saving money. They're buying time. And that reframing changes every financial decision they make. Remember this. Before your next purchase, ask not how much it costs in money. Ask how many hours of your life it costs. That question will change what you buy. Lesson 2. Rich people do not buy emotions. Here is the second difference. Most people spend money to manage their emotions. Rich people do not. When you are stressed, a purchase feels like relief. When you are bored, shopping feels like stimulation. When you feel behind in life, buying something new feels like progress. These feelings are real, but they are temporary, and they are expensive. The purchase does not solve the stress. It delays it, and adds a financial problem on top of the emotional one. There was a woman named Clara. She earned a good salary, but every time she felt overwhelmed at work, she would buy something online that evening. A new book, new clothes, something for her apartment. Each purchase gave her a brief moment of comfort. Then the feeling returned, and the purchases added up. At the end of each year, she had almost nothing saved, and a collection of things she barely used. Then she started asking herself one question before every purchase. Am I buying this because I need it, or because I feel something I do not want to feel? The honest answer changed her spending completely. Here is what works. When you feel the urge to buy something, wait 24 hours. If you still want it tomorrow, consider it. Most of the time, the urge will be gone, because it was never about the thing. Lesson 3. Rich people know the difference between assets and liabilities. Here is the third and most important difference. Rich people understand the difference between assets and liabilities, and they prioritize one over the other. An asset is something that puts money into your pocket, a savings account, an investment, a skill that earns income, something that grows in value over time. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket, a car that loses value, a subscription you barely use, a purchase that requires ongoing maintenance. Most people spend their lives accumulating liabilities while calling them assets. A new car feels like an achievement, but it loses value the moment you drive it away. It costs money to insure, maintain, and fuel. It is a liability dressed as success. Rich people ask a different question before any major purchase. Will this put money into my pocket or take money out of it? And they consistently choose the former. This does not mean never enjoying life. It means being honest about what things actually are, and making sure that over time, the assets in your life grow larger than the liabilities. Start here. Look at your monthly expenses. Write them down. For each one, ask, is this an asset or a liability? The answer may surprise you. Lesson 4. The thinking creates the habits. The habits create the wealth. Here is the final truth. Rich people are not rich because they earn more. They are rich because they thought differently for long enough that the right habits formed. And the right habits, maintained over time, produced wealth. Thinking in time instead of money. Not buying emotions. Choosing assets over liabilities. These are not complicated ideas. They do not require a high income. They do not require a financial education. They require a decision to start thinking differently.
Today.
And they require consistency. Because one day of better thinking changes nothing. 1 year of better thinking changes everything. Think about where you want to be financially in 10 years. What habits would the person who achieves that have? What would they think about money that you do not think yet? Start thinking that way now. Not when you earn more. Not when life gets easier.
Now.
The rich do not think about money more than you do. They think about it differently. And that difference is available to you starting today. Train your mind and keep becoming.